tonight's starting pitchers began his career as a highly touted Florida Marlins prospect back in 1999. 14 seasons and 147 career wins later, he makes his first home start as a Philly against his former team. Also on the mound tonight is another young Marlin. 21 years old and reigning National League Rookie of the Year, Jose Fernandez, is the star attraction of the Miami rotation. And he has started off right where he finished a season ago. A baseball season is filled with difficult tasks. The Phillies have a very difficult task here tonight at Citizens Bank Park as they entertain the Miami Marlins. Not only have they lost 4 straight, but they have to deal with second-year pro Jose Fernandez on the mound for the Marlins. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, joined by Jamie Moyer. You know, Jose Fernandez is on the mound, and it's a difficult task, but the Phillies are dealing with a Marlins team that, like the Phillies, have lost 4 straight games.
Yeah, they both have come out of 2 series individually struggling, and they just ran into a buzzsaw with the Nationals, the Marlins did, and the Phillies obviously just ran into the buzzsaw with the Brewers, who pretty much hit everything that was thrown. And, you know, they made some mistakes behind that as well defensively and had some struggles in the bullpen. So for the Phillies, I think that explains a lot of their struggles. And as we see, you know, we saw, you know, high ERAs, bullpen ERAs, errors, and a lot of other issues as well.
All right, now the other issue tonight. Yes, the Phillies have A.J. Burnett making his first Citizens Bank Park start in a Phillies uniform, but they have to deal with Jose Fernandez, who has just been lights out in his first 2 years.
Yeah, Jose has been phenomenal, and I think we're going to see everything that's been thrown out there about Jose Fernandez. You know, he's got everything is electric, and you'll see here in these highlights, you know, he's faced the Phillies 18 innings. He's given up 1 earned run. And he just has control of the game. I know he's young. You haven't seen him a whole lot, but he's dominant, and it's special. And he's got this curveball slider thing they're calling the defector.
Well, look at his numbers last year. Hits per innings pitched. That really stands out.
Yeah, it does. And when you start adding those numbers up, it's the innings pitched don't match up to the walks and the hits. It's phenomenal what this kid has done, or what he's doing. Actually, he's a 22-year-old, and I think and believe this will be my first time seeing him, but he may be the best pitcher in Major League Baseball.
Well, we'll see if the Phillies can deal with him tonight. It's game 1 of this 3-game series. Fernandez making his 3rd start. A.J. Burnett, a little wild his last time out, also making his 3rd start of the 2014 season. A.J. Burnett certainly is used to pitching in this ballpark. We saw him with the Marlins. Obviously, we saw him with the Pittsburgh Pirates. We'll see if he has the same command tonight that he had in this game right here. Lineups at first pitch when we return. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. By Citizens Bank, introducing One Deposit Checking. Keeping things simple is helping you bank better. By Toyota. Toyota's #1 for everyone sales event is going on now. Toyota, let's go places. And by Independence Blue Cross, the most preferred health plan in the region. Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Ruiz, and following behind is Bob McClure, getting set for his first start here at Citizens Bank Park in a Phillies uniform. He certainly has pitched enough games here in this ballpark to understand everything about it during the course of his big league career. And he's getting a chance to face the team that he came to the majors with. Not the one that drafted him, but that he came to the majors with. And there is Jose Fernandez. Fernandez is starting to get a following around baseball because he's such a talented young pitcher, and he seems to be sincere in every facet of the game. He's very sincere. He seems to have a lot of fun with his outings, not only on the mound but on the bench, interacting with the fans. From what I've seen during the games, and I was told pregame that after he pitches, he stays after and signs every autograph request that's asked of him. Well, he certainly has soaked in the experience of being a major league player. Well, last year the Phillies won 12 games against the Miami Marlins. They hit .254 and hit 18 home runs. The thing that stood out for the Phillies, their pitching was very good against the Marlins offense last year. Well, and it's always important to pitch well, as we are seeing that here this season. But we know that in the Phillies' past. If you pitch well and play good defense, you've got a chance to win. And in this ballpark especially, sometimes the wind blows out. The dimensions of the ballpark can really play into the offense's hands, so you really have to pitch and utilize your defense. Well, it is a breezy night here at Citizens Bank Park. The wind is blowing out toward right field at this point. Now, it may shift as the night moves on. There you see the flags out in center field and what they're doing. And they have been shifting around for the last hour or so. There were some thunderstorms that were in the area. As we begin play tonight, the Nationals are atop the division at 7-2. The Phillies are at the bottom of the division, 3-6 and 4 games back. They need to start playing some cleaner games. There's no question about that. And they need to start getting the starters deeper into ball games. And I know you talked about that. Yeah, we're getting to the point now where, mid-April, getting in the latter part of April, it's time to extend the starters a little bit, get deeper into the game, maybe elevate their pitch counts a little bit, but asking them to be a little more efficient early in the game. Let's take a look at the Marlins starting lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Leading it off in left field, Christian Yelich. Marcell Ozuna bats second. Giancarlo Stanton is in right field, he'll hit third, followed by Garrett Jones and Casey McGee, back over from Japan. Jared Saltalamacchia is the catcher, he'll hit sixth. And the bottom third of Dietrich, Echeverria, and Fernandez will face Phillies right-hander A.J. Burnett. The 37-year-old is 0-1, an ERA of 3.86. He was not pleased with his outing the last time out against the Chicago Cubs. Well, and I think we'd be wondering if he was pleased. Uncharacteristically, he had 6 walks. I know he's not real happy about that, and I'm sure he has addressed that issue in his side session. And if you look back at his last game in Chicago, at times he wasn't missing by a lot. But when he was on the plate, it was catching too much of the plate, and he got hit pretty hard. But, what's our typical what we're seeing here with A.J. He's got a fastball, 2-seam fastball sinker, 2 types of curveballs. He's got a changeup. And, he's got to compete and keep the ball on the ground, and I think A.J. has a great ability to do that. Well, he's a .500 pitcher here at Citizens Bank Park. And as he finishes up his warm-up tosses, Christian Yelich is about to head to the plate to begin this 3-game series. The Phillies have 7 games left on this homestand. 3 against the Marlins and then 4 against the Braves. Time now for our Nissan keys to tonight's ballgame. All right, JB, what do you think? I think the Phillies need to find a way to get to Jose Hernandez and get a lead and hold on to that lead. I think it's going to be really important. They've had some leads. They've given up some of those leads. But if you look back to the Milwaukee series, they played behind pretty much the whole series, and it's tough to play that way. First pitch of the night from A.J. Burnett. And we're underway, and it's no balls and 1 strike. Christian Yelich came up last year. This season he's hitting .286 with no home runs and 4 runs batted in. He didn't do too badly against the Nationals. He was 4 for 8 in that series with 3 runs scored. Swing and a miss, 0-2. And I think this kid's going to be a nice hitter. I really like his swing. I saw a game that they played on ESPN a couple weeks ago and watched him swing the bat. And was really impressed with the way he swings the bat, and he's got sneaky foot speed. Well, he is one of their top prospects. I guess he's no longer a prospect because he's in the big leagues. He's time to perform. Because they're so young and because they've had so many changes over the last 2 years after spending a lot of money, he got an opportunity last year, and he didn't seem like he was overmatched last season.
No, he seemed to just fit right in.
1 ball and 2 strikes to Christian Yelich. And a breaking ball chopped towards second. Nice hop for Utley. Yelich is retired, and Marcell Ozuna will head to the plate. Mike Redmond has shifted his lineup around a little bit. He's put Ozuna up to the 2-hole. Part of that is to void the Phillies' left-handed pitching in the back of their bullpen. Guys like Jake Diekman, Antonio Bastardo. Ozuna off to a good start. 2 homers and 4 runs batted in. He loved hitting in this ballpark last year. And he cracks that one to second. So 5 pitches, and A.J. Burnett has 2 outs here in the first.
This is what you like to see, early contact and balls on the ground. And if this allows A.J. to settle in, I think if he can create this here in the first couple innings, it could be a nice day for A.J.
Well, his first outing against the Rangers, he threw 22 pitches in the first inning. You know, somewhat laborsome, but still managed to go 6. Last outing, he faced 8 batters in the first inning. Here's Giancarlo Stanton. Second in the majors in RBIs with 13. No balls and 1 strike. On the outside corner, 0-2. Stanton was 2 for 12 in the series against the Nationals. Swing and a miss. He got it. Whoa, what an efficient inning for A.J. Burnett. 8 pitches, and he retires the Marlins in order. 2 ground outs and a devastating breaking pitch to get Giancarlo Stanton. We go to the bottom of the first inning. It's the Marlins 0 and the Phillies coming up. Jamie is having a conversation with Real Cormier, who has popped into the booth for the first time. Real is in search of his fellow Canadian Matt Stairs. We don't know where Matt is, but if he's listening, Real would like you to come to the park to say hi.
And he probably is listening.
We go to the bottom of the first inning. Let's take a look at the Phillies starting lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Tony Gwynn leads it off in center field, followed by Jimmy Rollins and Chase Utley. Ryan Howard is at first base batting cleanup. Marlon Byrd is in right field hitting 5th. Dominic Brown bats 6th. In the bottom third of Ruiz, Ashe, and A.J. Burnett. And they'll face Jose Fernandez. Tony Gwynn will lead it off, and Gwynn takes a strike. It's no balls and 1 strike. Well, Jose Fernandez's numbers 2-0, 0.71 ERA, 17 strikeouts, did 12 2/3. Down and away, 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, here's the scouting report on Jose Fernandez. Break it down for us, Jamie.
All right. Well, he's got a 4-seam fastball. He's mid-90s, mid to upper 90s. He's got a heavy sinker, 90 to 95. Throws 2 types of curveballs, and they're both quite hard, but the nickname for him is called the Defector. And he also throws a changeup, but he throws all of his pitches for a strike, and he's very aggressive in the strike zone.
Well, it's appropriate. He did defect from Cuba. Went to high school here in the United States. Wins, sends one in the air out to left field. Yelich backs up on it, and he makes the catch. Oh, one away. Well, we mentioned that Real Cormier has popped into the booth, so we figured, what the heck? Let's put a headset on him and bring him on.
Put him to work.
All right, so just so you know, Matt said he's on his way.
Okay, good.
Right, so he will be here at some point. How you doing?
Doing great, you?
Yeah, we're doing great. Here at the ballpark, get a chance to enjoy a little baseball.
Yep. It's glad to be back because I haven't been here since, well, I came in 08 during the World Series. I watched Game 3.
Jamie pitched that.
Yeah, that's right. You pitched against the Yankees, and then I haven't been since. I've been to fantasy camp the last couple of years in Florida, and I really enjoyed doing that.
Thinking about making a comeback?
No, I'm done. I'm throwing. Well, this year I was throwing it in fantasy camp, and they said, "Man, yeah, you can still throw strikes." I'm like, they pay a lot of money for people to throw strikes. I'm like, no, they can't pay me enough right now. I like where I'm at in life. I don't really miss anymore. So.
Well, Jimmy Rollins is aboard with a base hit with one out here in the bottom of the first. All right, what is life like right now for Real Cormier?
Well, we moved to Park City, Utah. When I was playing, I lived in Florida for 14 years, and then I wanted to get back to the Four Seasons. So we went skiing in Park City in 2006, and I fell in love with the place. And we moved there, and my kids were boarders and skiers, and we've been living there ever since. We moved there full time, and we really enjoy where we live.
That's great.
So, yeah, it's a great place to raise a family, and now both of the kids are in college at University of Utah. So we'll probably stay there a few more years until they graduate, and then find out what they're what they're going to do in life, and then hopefully if they move around, maybe we'll follow them. If not, we'll try to live in the middle somewhere, and then we can get to either or.
We are getting older, though. Our kids are in college.
You guys might be. I'm not.
Not.
No balls and one strike to Chase Utley. Chase hitting .464 with 2 home runs, and he fouls it away. It's 0-2. What do you think about when you come back to a place like this? Yeah, I mean, obviously you were here when it opened. What do you think about it?
It's a beautiful stadium. I mean, all the new stadiums that they build now, it's all fan based, and being able to leave your seats and never lose sight of the games, and it's always a pleasure. Well, first of all, I have never really sat where I'm watching the game as a fan point, and it's totally different.
Echeverria makes a nice play. There's one, and safe at first base.
So it brings a lot of good memories back, and what I enjoy, like I came back today and seeing people on the outside the field that you've made connections with when you played here, and being able to interact with them and see them again is good.
Do you miss the game?
No, I went through a period when I retired where I was home like 24/7. You don't work out as much because you're not playing anymore, and then and now I don't miss it at all. I don't miss the playing part of it. It was good when I did it, and I'm finally over it. So it took a little time. It's because when you play for such a long time, as Jimmy will know, it's all you think about all the time. And then, but now that I've been away almost 6 years now, I'm totally content and doing some other stuff. So
it is really odd to sit in the stands and watch a game after you've had that vantage point of sitting on the bench and watching a game.
Yeah,
it really is.
Yeah, it's totally different. Because like people ask me all the time, it's like, when you watch a game, what do you watch? I'm probably looking at it differently because I'm watching what the guy's going to throw here, and I'm trying to figure out, like, hey, I'll probably throw the same pitch here. And people say, well, how do you know? Well, I was a pitcher. Hello, So, but what I'm blown away most in the last few years is how many guys that are pitchers that are throwing to mid to high 90s.
Well, this guy right here.
He's throwing
98 miles an hour.
There's a factory that makes these guys somewhere. I don't know where that factory is, but there's a factory.
I know. It's crazy how many people are throwing so hard these days. It's unbelievable.
Well, it's 3 balls and no strikes to Howard. We'll see if he gets a green light, and he takes low, ball 4. So that'll put runners on first and second. Let's check in with Greg Murphy. Ray, I don't know if you know Greg, but he's our sideline guy. He's an all-around good guy, and he's going to give us a report right now.
Hey, I am going to do that, but I'll welcome Real back to town. It's nice to see him again. And, we're talking a little bit about the approach to Jose Fernandez. And the Phils so far in this first inning have had a pretty good approach. Ryan Sandberg talked about it ahead of time. He said when you have a guy like Jose Fernandez who is always around the plate, he said you got to take advantage of things early in the count. And if you see a pitch to hit early in the count, he wants his guys to be aggressive because you fall behind a guy like Fernandez who's got a couple of different out pitches, his fastball and his breaking ball at a couple different speeds. That's where you get yourself into trouble. So he's looking for his guys to get after him early. And if you can get some guys on base and force them to pitch out of the stretch and think a little bit, that's when you can have some success. So we'll see if the Phils are able to do that tonight.
Would you guys agree with that? Getting him to pitch out of the stretch, is that important for a starting pitcher to get out of his comfort zone of being in the windup?
I would agree with that.
Yeah, I would too. Like especially early in the game, he's throwing a lot more pitches, so the guys are seeing a lot more. So.
Well, it's no balls and 1 strike to Marlon Byrd. Marlon takes upstairs, 98 on that one. 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, what are you doing in town? Are you here for the Frozen 4?
It's weird because last night I came in and a friend of mine texted me, said I just saw on Facebook that you're in Philly, and he says, "What are you doing here?" I said, "Well, what are you doing here?" And he says, "I'm at the Frozen Four," because he's a scout for the Florida Panthers, and we didn't have a chance to connect last night, and then he left this morning to go to Minnesota, and I can't go to one of the games because the finals are tomorrow night. So, yeah, they brought me back to throw the first pitch tomorrow, and then. So I'm looking forward to that.
That wasn't a surprise, was it?
No.
Oh, okay, good. Because Jamie threw it out on opening day, and we had a button up. We couldn't say anything to anybody.
Oh, okay.
And then Steve Carlton came out, which we didn't know, and presented him with the ball to throw the first pitch.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
That's pretty nice. Yeah. I saw lefties.
That one's hit well, deep to left field. Going back on it is Yelich. It is off the top of the wall. Utley will score. Howard to third. He'll hold up there. It's an RBI double. It's 1-0 Phillies. They strike first here in the bottom of the first, and they were inches away from having a 3-run lead.
Here you'll see Marlin an elevated breaking ball, and he just stayed with it. Got the barrel of the bat out, and unfortunately, the wind's blowing across the field tonight instead of blowing out to left. The wind could have helped that and blown it out of the ballpark.
Wow.
Inches, huh?
It's a little fence. It's above the fence.
So that fence is part of the wall.
That fence is part of the wall.
Yeah.
Well,
has that always been there, that little fence, or is it something they added?
No, that has been there.
It has been?
Yeah, they've adjusted, obviously, from the first year when you were here, they've adjusted the wall. It's back a little bit more.
Okay.
Dominic Brown fouls it away, and it's 0-1. Well, you're part of history here at this park because you got the first win here at Citizens Bank Park in relief.
Yeah, I knew that, but they said I got the last win at the Vet, too.
At the Vet, too.
Yeah.
Dominic fouls another one back. It's 0-2. Dominic overall hitting .313 with no home runs and 4 runs batted in. Got a chance to do something here in the first that not many teams have been able to do, and that's score multiple runs against Jose Fernandez.
They've already matched the runs they got off of him last year.
Broke his bat. It's going to be a bloop out to right field. 1 run scores. Here comes Bird. The throw by Stanton. Oh, man, a seed. And he is out at home plate. But 2-run score for the Phillies. Here in the bottom of the first inning, they take a 2-0 lead. Real, it's always great seeing you. Throw a strike tomorrow.
Well, I'm going to try.
You going to throw from the mound?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah, I have to.
We'll see Real tomorrow here at the ballpark. Phillies take a 2-0 lead. MLB.com @bat on your favorite mobile phone or tablet. Get live look-ins, instant replay, scores, stats, audio, free MLB.tv game of the day, and more. Download an app at the App Store. Visit Phillies.com today. Phillies lead at 2-0. They got 2 runs against Jose Fernandez. Pete McCann took a chance on this one. This was a good hop for Stanton to handle.
It was a great hop, and it had a lot of momentum into that behind that throw, and the ball carried right to the catcher. And this is cutoff, man, but got it there in plenty of time.
And you see where the catcher was, Saltalamacchia. He was out in front of the plate because he couldn't block the plate until he had the ball, and he went in with the sweeping tag. So the Phillies take a 2-run lead. Garrett Jones leads it off here in the top of the second against A.J. Burnett. And a ground ball foul. It's 1-1. Coaching third is such a judgment call. And there's Saltalamacchia not in front of the plate. And he comes in and sweeps the tag to get Bird. What did 1 to Garrett Jones? Checked his swing. Did he go? No. This is the third base umpire, Gary Cederstrom. Cederstrom is the crew chief. Well, he's got some break on his breaking ball tonight, at least in these first 2 innings.
It almost looked like Garrett Jones had his mind made up before the pitch was thrown. I'm swinging regardless of where this pitch was, because that ball almost hit him.
Tried the 2-seamer. It didn't come back all the way. 3-2. And that one did come back. A called strike 3. 2 strikeouts already for Burnett. And with 1 out, it brings Casey McGee to the plate.
There's that pitch that A.J. struggled a little bit with in Chicago and came back to a great strike with that comeback 2-seamer over the corner, inside corner of the plate for a called strike.
You know, the highlights we showed at the end of the Open when he was in a Pirates uniform, that 2-seamer was really moving that night.
Yep. He's got the stuff. It's just a matter of locating it on a consistent basis.
Casey McGee's become a heck of a story, at least in South Florida, and maybe as the season moves on around baseball. He had a couple of good seasons with the Milwaukee Brewers, but then faltered offensively, and he wound up going to Japan last year. And in Japan, he had 28 home runs, had 30 doubles. He was on Tanaka's team, the team that won the Japanese League Championship.
I'm not sure why he ended up going to Japan. I remember as a really nice player in Milwaukee. I don't know how he fell out of favor there.
Well, they offered him an extension, I remember, and he turned it down and waited, and then his numbers started to go down. 1-2 the count to McGee. Nearly got him to offer it that, and it's full. So back-to-back full counts. Kerwin Danley flinched behind home plate, but it's ball 4. And the Marlins have their first base runner. Kerwin Danley behind the plate, Lance Barksdale at first, Mark Ripperger at second, and Gary Cederstrom around at third. There's Jared Saltalamacchia, signed as a free agent by the Marlins after he helped the Red Sox win a World Championship a season ago. Switch hitting catcher. Usually better from the left side than the right side. Got a fastball upstairs, 1-0.
Jared, I'm really surprised at how he's kind of bounced around in his career. He started with the Braves and went to Texas, ended up in Boston, and now became a free agent and has landed back in Miami. And a switch hitting catcher, you would think would stay in one place. I don't know the reason behind that.
Well, when he left the Braves, he was involved in the Teixeira deal, and he had McCann in front of him. But I agree with you, even in Texas, how he didn't succeed even more there, because he was a highly touted prospect coming through the Braves organization.
Well, and for a while in Texas, nobody was going to take Pudge's job. So now Pudge moved on, and you're looking to solidify behind the plate with a good, solid catcher, and I thought that Saltalamacchia was going to be that guy.
Burdette just slapped his leg. I don't know if he slapped his leg because he was upset with the way he landed or if he wanted that pitch.
It's pretty close. I'm wanting that pitch, especially early in the game. If I can establish I'm going to get a called strike in there, it's going to force guys to at least acknowledge that you're throwing strikes in there.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Saltalamacchia. And he tried to go in again. It's 3-2. So 3 straight full counts. Derek Dietrich is on deck. Mike Redmond in his 2nd year as the manager of the Marlins. Ground ball toward first, picked by Ryan Howard. Throw to second for 1. Burnett's covering, and he just can't handle the low throw. But they get the lead runner, and there are 2 outs. This Sunday, Hall of Famer Mike Schmidt joins Jamie and myself here in the broadcast booth when the Phillies take on the Miami Marlins. Sundays with Schmidt, every home Sunday starting this Sunday at 1:30, only on the Comcast Network. I think we have everything set up, too. We have the right shirt for Mike. We have that set aside. We have a pullover in case it's chilly, although it's day game, so it's not going to be that chilly as the season moves on. Now it's up to you and I to wear the right shirt.
I'm looking forward to this. It's going to be fun. It really is. He's going to have a great perspective on the game, and even the perspective from when he played as well. And I think the people listening will probably really enjoy Mike as well.
Well, not only did you get the baseball from Carlton on opening day, but then you're going to sit in the booth and talk baseball with Mike Schmidt.
Maybe I'll have Mike sign the ball. What do you think?
You didn't get Steve Carlton to sign the ball?
I didn't. I have an autograph of Steve's at home, but I have that ball in our office.
That's pretty good.
Have Mike sign that ball, if he would be so kind. What do you think?
I think it would be a great addition to your collection. That ball's hit well. Deep to right field. Bird going back, and that one is gone. And we're tied up at 2 here in the top of the 2nd. Derek Dietrich with his 2nd home run of the year. And we said the wind is kicking out toward right field. That ball was hit well enough that I don't even know if the wind helped it or not.
Yeah, I don't think he needed the wind with that ball there. Fastball that came back out over the plate. Deposited right center field. Unfortunately, at this level, when you make mistakes, they usually get hit pretty hard, especially when they're up in the zone.
Well, here's a Danny Echeverria. Echeverria hitting .350 on the year. They put him down in the 8-hole. He's 6 for 15 in this spot.
This guy can fly.
He can fly, and he could pick it at shortstop too. Inside, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Played with him a little bit with the 51s in the Toronto organization 2 years ago. Really nice kid, very soft spoken, Cuban defector as well, but very talented.
Yeah, the Marlins got him in the deal with Jose Reyes going to the Toronto Blue Jays. It's not a bad exchange if you think about the future of the Marlins. Two balls and 1 strike to Echeverria. Down and away, 3-1.
He just lost a little bit of the command that he had in his first inning.
Out towards center field, Tony Gwynn on the run, and it is over his head and in to the bullpen. A ground rule double. So he's in scoring position now for Jose Fernandez. Bob McClure charting the game. Watched AJ get the first 4 batters with relative ease. But as Jamie said, his command has been off a little bit here.
Yeah, it wasn't that far off of where Chooch was asking for that pitch, but it was out over the plate. Just put the barrel to the ball and drove it to, and the wind probably did help that ball a little bit, even though it was hit pretty hard.
Fernandez is 0 for 3 so far in the season, but he's a good athlete. Tried to hold his swing on that one. They appeal. And yes, he went around, says Lance Barksdale. And it's 0-1.
I have a funny feeling he's not going to get cheated when he swings.
He has a major league home run. He has 11 hits and 53 at bats. Conditions today 66 degrees as we speak. Winds out of the north-northwest at 16 miles an hour. Ground ball to shortstop. Rollins a few steps to his right. The side is retired. The Marlins do tie it up. They get a 2-run home run from Derek Dietrich. They leave 1. We go to the bottom of the 2nd here in Philadelphia. Park for game 2 of this 3-game series. Sunday, it's Turkey Hill's Kids Opening Day. Citizens Bank commemorative baseball celebrating 10 years of memories at Citizens Bank Park. It's free to fans 14 and under. Order your tickets now at Phillies.com. Last of the second. Marlins 2, Phillies 2. And Carlos Ruiz will lead it off. It'll be Ruiz, Ashe, and AJ Burnett. Phillies got a 2 spot against Jose Fernandez in their half of the first. His defense helped him out. Giancarlo Stanton threw out Marlon Byrd trying to score from second on a base hit by Dominic Brown. Swing and a miss, 2-1.
He just says, here it is, hit it. If you can. No messing around.
That ball's hit hard toward the middle, backhanded by Dietrich. He sets himself and throws. Good time to get Ruiz. Well, there's no question that Jose Fernandez is a strikeout pitcher. He has 17 strikeouts this year in just over 14 innings of work. And last year he averaged more than a strikeout per inning pitched. But his goal is to get the opposition to hit the ball early in the count. He's not necessarily looking for strikeouts.
His goal is to get deep into the game. He wants to finish every game. And by doing so, he's going to have to get early contact. If he doesn't and strikes out a lot of people, he's not going to be able to get to the end of the game.
Well, last season, his first 10 starts, the average against his curve was 180. The average against the slider was 200. Well, they went down in his last 18 starts. I mean, those numbers. Now, the opponent's batting average overall against him was 182, which is a Marlins record. But, you know, he got better as the year went on as he got more experience.
That's great numbers right there.
AJ Burnett had a few words for the home plate umpire Kerwin Danley as he came up to the plate. Mentioned that he looked like he was unhappy on a few of those 2 seamers that were not called strikes. That ball is hit towards short. Echeverria knocks it down. Side is retired. 3 straight ground outs. The Phillies go down in order in their half of the second. To the third we go. It's the Marlins 2 and the Phillies 2. The Fans Trivia question. Log on to Phillies.com. Go to the Fans section for all the information. And please submit your answer on the subject line. Jamie, here's the question. Who are the only 3 pitchers in MLB history to win 100-plus games after turning 40? The answer will be revealed a little later on. Well, I would think you're going to get 1.
Yeah, I think I know 1.
It's probably been talked about so often when you're around, you probably know the other 2.
Yeah.
We'll go to the top of the third here. It'll be the top of the order: Christian Yelich, Marcell Ozuna, And Giancarlo Stanton against A.J. Burnett. All right, how does A.J. Burnett find his command coming back out here after such a good first inning?
Yeah, you look at the first inning in comparison to the second inning, the location wasn't quite the same. I don't know if you can go back and try to get that feel that you had in the first inning. You know, it looked like he was talking to Kerwin a little bit about a couple of pitches when he went to the plate. He thought maybe we're close. You know, just trying to find that tempo and just get back in that rocking chair and do what you do.
Well, he starts Yelich off with a good breaking ball. It's 0-1. Yelich grounded out to second his first time up. Gets the two-seamer to come over. It's 0-2. With all the young players the Marlins have, they were trying to figure out how to configure their outfield. They were projecting last year. You know, Marcell Ozuna, who's on deck, was injured, so they didn't have to figure it out last season. You know, they had Giancarlo Stanton in right field, Yelich in left, and they had Justin Ruggiano in center. But they thought to themselves, with the talent they have projected for 2014, who was going to play center and who was going to play left? They knew Giancarlo Stanton would play right field. And it was either going to be Yelich in center or Ozuna, and the other would play left field. Well, they settled on Ozuna because he had more experience out in center field in the minor leagues. But if need be, they can interchange the two if they have to. Ozuna's got a right fielder's arm playing center field. He waits. Here's the 3-2 pitch to Yelich. Inside, ball 4. Well, the Marlins offseason moves, the additions include Rafael Furcal, who's on the DL, Reed Johnson, who's on the bench, Garrett Jones from the Pirates, Marmol, who's out of the bullpen, and Saltalamacchia. Now they got rid of Ruggiano. Chad Quall signed with the Astros. Logan Morrison, Juan Pierre, and Placido Polanco. Neither Pierre or Polanco have found a team. Neither one had said that they were retiring, so they're still out there. Throw over to first in time to nail Yelich. Well, he had been 13 for 13 in stolen base attempts, but he's picked off there, so it did look like he was trying to go for 14 for 14.
He had a big lead. You can see it looked like he started to go.
Now Mike Redmond's coming out because they're wondering if Ryan Howard did apply the tag. I think Ryan did, even though it was awkward, because he tried to catch this with two hands, which is somewhat awkward. Right there, he got him. So they'll look at that and say, all right, we're not going to challenge this. Redmond is peeking over his left shoulder. All right, now, see, I thought thumbs up meant challenge. Right. Thumbs down meant don't challenge.
Yeah. Well, it looked like the gentleman on the phone looked like he had the thumb up and he said, got him.
Okay, I didn't see that.
But I don't think Mike Redmond could hear that. So obviously the thumb up means right.
Again, we have to send out a memo to everybody around the league to have the same signals across the board. That's Rob Leary, who's the bench coach for the Marlins, who is signaling. Marcell Ozuna takes a strike. It's 0-1. Ozuna grounded out sharply to second, his only time up. He's 0 for 1.
Say Ozuna is a really, really good hitter, and he makes adjustments very well.
So I'm interested to see through this series if he can follow that that label, that positive label that's been given to him.
On the outside corner, 2-2. And on the flip side, if the Phillies can adjust to him too, because he's put very good numbers up against the Phils in a short period of time. Marlins called him up from Double-A last season. 2-2 pitch. He hits that one to short. Rollins is there. And 2 outs for Giancarlo Stanton. Everybody speculated that the Marlins would trade Giancarlo Stanton at some point. Some thought they would do it before this year. But apparently he came into camp with a pretty positive attitude. He liked the look of the young roster.
What a guy to be able to build a team around.
I wonder too if that's what he finally accepted. I mean, anywhere he goes, would you agree with this, that they would build around him?
Most definitely. Most definitely. A young kid with a lot of tools and, you know, can hit. He's a polished hitter.
There's the 1-0. And on the outside corner, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Just to have him in a lineup. I mean, you look through baseball, you think about the history of baseball and some really good hitters when they were in the lineup, whether they were hitting well or not, but just their name in the lineup and when they came to the plate, the game changed. And how pitchers faced them changed.
It's almost the same way when Ryan Howard first came up and solidified first base, that people looked at him in the Phillies lineup when he hit the 50+ home runs. Giancarlo was obviously younger than Ryan, but still. Off the end of the bat, out toward right field. That'll drop for a base hit. And Stanton's aboard with a 2-out single. And here's Garrett Jones. Balls and 1 strike to Jones. Jones struck out looking his first time up. Outside.
How much AJ lost a feel for that curveball this inning. He's thrown it. He's only thrown 1 for a strike. Thrown it about a half a dozen times.
Popped him up. Ashe will watch this one go out of play. And now it's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Foul ball, 2 bases.
outside 3-2. So Stanton will be off and running on this pitch. And Howard's going to play behind him with Casey McGee waiting on deck. And a line drive down the right field line. Marlon Byrd's going to try to cut it off. He does. Stanton is heading to third. He'll be held there. That's a fine play by Marlon Byrd, because if that got past him, Stanton would have scored easily from first. Instead, it's a long single to put runners on first and third with 2 men down.
Well, and there's a difference there of letting a guy get a running start. 3-2, he gets a running start. Giancarlo Stanton there, and Jones hits a ball down the right field line, and give a lot of credit there to Marlon to get over that ball and cut it off and make a throw kind of on the run. And actually, that was a good pick by Chase right there. If that ball Chase bobbles out or drops it, I got to believe Stanton's going to score.
Well, Casey McGee walked his first time up. And he was erased on a fielder's choice. Fastball for strike, 0-1. Think about that fielder's choice in the second inning, where Saltalamacchia was able to get to first and the throw was one hop. It turned out to be a big play in that second inning. Quick appeal, no swing, says Lance Barksdale. Trying to get that ball to come back on the outside part of the plate. 25 pitches in the inning, 61 with 2 outs here in the third. Good call. 2-2 to McGee. And the pitch from Burnett. Swing, the miss, he got it. Threw him a changeup, it looked like. And the side is retired. No runs, 2 hits, 2 men left. Bottom of the third coming up with the top of the order duo. Quality Plus Ford stores. Go further by AT&T, mobilizing your world. And by the Pennsylvania Lottery. Benefits older Pennsylvanians every day. Well, it's a nice night down in Center City. And a few miles away is where we are. You see the lights in the background. We go to the bottom of the third. Tony Gwynn will lead it off. He's 0 for 1. He lined one pretty sharply to left field. It was caught by Yelich. First pitch is upstairs, 1-0. Tony is starting in center field. Ben Revere has some sore ribs. We saw him holding those ribs yesterday during the game. Said it was just a precaution to give him tonight off and to give Tony Gwynn a chance to play a little bit in center field. Two-0 pitch. Low, ball 3. This is what we were talking about yesterday in the dugout, Ben. Ben talking to the EMTs. Said both. I think he said both sides are sore.
What do I do for that? Take a day off.
Yeah, he seemed fine today when he was out, stretching and taking BP and stuff like that. But sore. 3-1 is tapped foul. And it's 3-2.
Well, and as Ryan Sandberg talked in spring training, he's trying to keep his guys fresh too. He wants his bench guys to get a chance to play, keeping them fresh and getting them into games as well, and hopefully keeping this. That will be able to keep them ready for pinch hit appearances as well.
I can see Ben being pretty chatty in the dugout though. There's ball 4. Gwyn's aboard. Second walk issued by Fernandez. Let's check in Murph. Murph, where are you, buddy?
Well, Tom, I'm up here on the Budweiser rooftop, which, by the way, is a great seat in this ballpark. But you know what tonight is? Tonight is Phillies Social Night. First of 6 that are being held at the ballpark. You can go onto the website, go onto Phillies.com, look at theme nights. Phillies Social. Get this, we're having 6 of them, as I mentioned. For $22, you get in the ballpark with a ticket. You get a T-shirt. You get $12 towards concessions, and you also get to watch batting practice. So it's a great seat, it's a great ticket, and these folks up here certainly are enjoying themselves. You see the T-shirt right there, at Phillies T-shirt, the blue T-shirt. So all in all, a good time. I think I'm just going to hang up here for the rest of the night, if that's okay with you guys.
Well, absolutely. And Murph, you are right. The Budweiser rooftop where they are sitting, and it's a great view of the ballpark. I mean, you can see just about everything. You can't see center field as much, but you can see just about everything.
Yeah, center field is about the only thing that's blocked off, but you know what you can see is you got a great view of the bullpens right in front of you too, so when guys start warming up later in the game, you can see that as well. And on a night like tonight, it's a pretty good spot to be.
All right, just don't heckle, Murph. Just don't heckle the bullpens.
I won't heckle, I promise.
Yeah, you can go to Phillies.com and find out more about the social nights here at Citizens Bank Park. Jimmy Rollins takes outside. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Rollins singled his first time up. Rollins is saying that was a balk. He's adamant that whatever Fernandez did was a balk. He's usually pretty sharp with that. But none of the umpires saw it. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
What do you think?
Yep.
Breaking ball. There's a strike because he started to pull back when he moved his leg like that.
Can't start and stop when you're engaged on the rubber.
How did none of the other umpires see that? Outside, 3-1. Good luck at McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is James Russell of Philadelphia. Phillies hit a home run in tonight's ball game, and James will win $100. James nearly won $100 early on. Inside, ball 4, back-to-back walks. Well, 3 walks does not signal a pitcher having a lack of sharpness, but Jose Fernandez doesn't often walk 3 in a game.
He's sure this is a little uncommon for him.
Well, he talked about this ballpark. It's part of our Geico quote of the day. He said it's a beautiful park. I've got to try to make good pitches. It's not like Miami for sure. I'll try to keep the ball down and get some ground balls.
Well, he's around the plate. He's missing below. I mean, and when he's missing in good spots. He's not missing in the middle of the plate. He's got to. Mike Flanagan always used to say, you've got to have every outing that you have, you got to have a pitch and a location that you can go to when you're behind in the count to get you back into the count.
It's interesting,
and it does make sense, and it may change outing to outing. But you have to be aware of what that pitch is, and the other team may be well aware of it too. But you have to try to get yourself back into a count.
The point you made about it might be different as the game goes on, or the game's go on. That's an interesting one too. It's not the same spot all the time.
Exactly. It's a feel. It's a feel.
Chase reached on a fielder's choice his first time up, and he takes outside. It's 1-0. Now, the Phillies today, and they do a lot of fundamental things with Ryne Sandberg. They had extra bunting practice at 3:55. Rhino said it was bunting for a base hit. So Tony Gwynn was out there. You would expect that, right? Freddie Galvis was out there. Ben Revere was out there. Cody Ashe. Chase pulls that one through the hole on the right side, of base hit. Gwynn is being held at third, and Stanton's throw goes skipping by. I don't think you would ever send anybody with Stanton if he could come up with it that clean.
Yeah, well, it almost looked like he was playing kind of shallow in right field, which seems a little odd. But with Fernandez pitching, it's maybe they had a reason for that. He got to that ball quick and came up with it. And made a good throw.
Well, my point about the bunting, because Chase squared, he was out in bunting practice today. He didn't need to bunt here, though. That's what Jamie was talking about. He was playing shallow. He was a little awkward as he made that throw. 8-game hitting streak for Chase. Here's Ryan Howard. Oh, man, Howard fouls a 97-mile-an-hour fastball back. It's 0-1. Good speed on the base paths. Wynn, Rollins, and Utley. Breaking ball, 1 ball and 1 strike to Howard. Probably went on that one, no appeal, and yes is Gary Cederstrom. He got it back pretty quick, but it looked like he did break his wrists.
That's a hard curve. It looks like that might be the defector.
How many people did we ask to describe it? They all had different descriptions of it. He throws it again, and Saltalamacchia blocks it. They all had different descriptions of it, but they all called it the defector. Breaking ball, and it's 3-2.
What do you think the odds of him getting a fastball here are?
I think he's getting a fastball, don't you?
I'm thinking 100%.
He's going to challenge it and see if he can catch up to it. The 3-2 pitch to Howard will have to wait as Fernandez steps off.
Sensing a little uncertainty.
Well, and I guess that's what Sandberg said, and Murph reported earlier in the game, that they'd like to get him in the stretch, put a little pressure on him. Easier said than done, but they have done that in 2 of the 3 innings.
Making him work this inning. He was very efficient in the first 2 innings, throwing 27 pitches. He had a 7-pitch second inning.
breaking ball. How about that? Walks in a run. He throws the breaking pitch. It's his third walk of the inning, and the Phillies retake the lead. How about this? Chuck Hernandez is going to the phone. They may get somebody up.
That's surprising to me. His best pitch is his fastball, I think. And he doesn't challenge him with it. I question that pitch call right there.
Well, he's already tied his career high in walks, and we're only in the third. Here's Marlon Byrd, who had a good look at his fastball in his first at bat. He lined a double off the wall. Still nobody out with the bases loaded. Outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Kevin Slowey, who was a starter last year, the long man out of the Marlins pen, starts to throw. Marlins numbers with the bases loaded. '97, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. That wasn't a fastball in the first inning.
It was not. No,
it looked like a hanging.
No, it was a breaking ball.
Yeah, hanging breaking ball.
Yeah. That was a backup defector.
Got to be second guessing that pitch to Ryan Howard. It's a good thing from the Phillies standpoint that he threw it.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned it before, Jamie. Phillies in that 2-run first had already eclipsed the number of runs they had scored against them all of last year. Now it's 3 earned in 2+. High fastball, and Byrd is struck out. That's the first strikeout for Fernandez. And here comes Dominic Brown.
Just a high running fastball. Just kind of ran up out of the zone. Almost looked like Marlon was sitting on a breaking ball those last 2 pitches, just based on his swing. And you would, as a hitter, you might think that because he threw so many breaking balls to Ryan.
Well, now he's thrown 4 straight fastballs to the last 2 hitters after Ryan Howard's bases loaded walk.
And here's where the Phillies could break this game wide open. They got him on the ropes. He's a very good pitcher. Seems to has kept his composure pretty good. Hasn't really let the situation affect him. Obviously he's probably not as sharp as he has been. But if the Phillies could get a big hit here, key hit here, it could, could break his back.
Line drive down the left field line. It is slicing foul. They would have definitely gotten 2 out of that one. All you have to do is look at the hitter in that case, Dominic Broke, and then could see it slicing and knew, well, there's no chance that's going to stay fair.
I haven't seen him throw a changeup yet. I don't think he's going to throw it here. I haven't seen his changeup. He's very proud of his curveball and his fastball, though, and rightly so, he should be.
Tough to spoil a 97-mile-an-hour fastball when you swing that late, but Dominic did a great job of making some contact.
Protecting right there. I think he was looking for a curveball as well. You get a 50-50 chance here.
He did get the breaking pitch. Check swing. They appeal. Ooh, Gary Severson says he went around. I I didn't think he went. I thought Howard went earlier in the inning. I didn't think Dominic Brown went on that one. Let's take a look. Yeah, that's close. He looked like he did go.
He did. You know, in a pitcher like Fernandez, it's really hard to hold that. I mean, to get to the fastball, I don't want to say you've got to cheat, but you've got to be quick.
Now it's left to Carlos, who grounded out up the middle his first time up. Takes a slider away. It's 1-0. Should say curveball, slurve, whatever it is. See, I think it looks like a slider. I know it's listed as a curveball.
Yeah, that one looked like a slider right there.
Fastball 2-1. The runners will be off. It's 3 balls and 2 strikes. The Phillies had the bases loaded with nobody out. They got a bases loaded walk to Howard. And now Fernandez has struck out the last 2 batters. Cody Ashley's waiting on deck.
This will be his 34th pitch this inning.
He's up to 60 pitches. The 3-2 pitch. Breaking ball swung on and missed, and the side is retired. The Phillies get 1. They leave them loaded. They retake the lead as we go to the 4th. No, WB Mason carries the products you need to clean your business. WB Mason now specializes in delivering an all-star selection of janitorial supplies same day. In between innings in the Marlins dugout, Chuck Hernandez and Jose Fernandez chatting. There must be something wrong with them because they went right to the phone and maybe they did tell Slowey to sit down. Slowey was wandering back and forth. So Hernandez and Fernandez go down into the clubhouse. Chuck Hernandez, who was the pitching coach at one point, was it South Florida?
Yes, USF.
South Florida, signed Jose Fernandez to a letter of intent, knowing full well he was going to go in the first round to somebody, which he did. They have a good relationship. Here's Saltalamacchia as we begin the fourth, and the first pitch is over for a strike. Saltalamacchia scored the run on the home run by Derek Dietrich in the second. There's a strike, and it's 1-2. So he's really working to try to get that two-seamer to come back over the inside part of the plate.
Sometimes when you try to force it, it gets worse before it gets better. Or you get front side aggressive with your glove side, and you end up going east and west instead of north and south.
That was pretty close. It's 3-2.
And that's some of the issues with that pitch. If you're not getting it to run back enough, now you start fooling around with it and try to get it to run a little bit more. Now it runs out over the plate. And that's usually when it gets hit.
Right side. Burnett's going to have to get over to cover. Good play by Utley. He threw it right to the bag. So Burnett gets the first out. AJ began his major league career with the Miami Marlins. He began his professional career with the Mets. But he made his major league debut at the age of 22. That was back in 1999. 7 seasons. And when he left the Marlins, he had an okay ERA, but he was a .500 pitcher basically at 49-50. It wasn't until he went to Toronto that he started to turn the corner somewhat and get better command and things like that.
Well, and I think there's some maturity that goes along with that. Sometimes your teammates are able to help you, and I think AJ would probably be the first to tell you that that guy, Mr. Halliday, was a teammate and had somewhat of an impact on AJ's career, like Roy has on many people's career.
The 0-1 pitch to Dietrich. Curved ball in there for a strike. It's 0-2. Yeah, whereas Doc talks about Pat Henkin having a huge effect on him.
Chris Carpenter.
Carpenter.
Yeah.
And I think Clemens was up there too. I think Roger Clemens sort of helped a little bit as well. AJ now 147 and 133 for his lifetime record. Now the 1-2 pitch.
I think that ball kind of popped out of his hand, not getting his fingers in front of that curveball like he was early in the game. See there, he's spiking his pointer finger up on the ball. We get a changeup right here.
Inside and low, ball 4. This Thursday, when the Phillies take on the Atlanta Braves, it's a business person special. Also, it's a Citizens Bank Red Goes Green Day. Fans can engage with local green vendors around the ballpark and learn more about the Phillies' Red Goes Green sustainability initiatives. Plus, all fans will receive an MLB Network reusable tote. For more information, visit Phillies.com/Red Goes Green. Echeverria doubled his last time up to straightaway center field. Breaking ball, 0-1 to Echeverria. For the first week of the season, Echeverria was leading the National League in hitting with Emilio Bonifacio. Still a pretty good pace at 366.
For a young kid at the bottom of the order, he's probably seen a lot of fastballs too, and he's a pretty good fastball hitter.
They asked for the appeal. Lance Barksdale says he went. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. AJ's pitches by inning, 28 in the second, 26 in the third. Now there's 1 out here in the fourth, and he's at 15. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. A little low, 2-2. So the whole getting deep into the ball game. I want you to run that out there again tomorrow night, because I don't think he's going to get deep into this ball game.
No. And for a guy that sinks the ball, a lot of his sinking action is kind of, especially with the lefties, it's coming, off the plate to on the plate to try to get that called strike. It's not necessarily sinking at the bottom of the zone, and I think that's the difference. He's missed a lot of those pitches tonight. It's forcing him to throw a lot of extra pitches. And he hasn't had the consistent breaking ball that he has shown.
Yeah, the one he had in the first inning when he really limited the Marlins through just 7 pitches.
Last 5 hitters, he's thrown 6 pitches to each hitter. This is the 7th hitter.
Runner goes, pitches low, throw to second on 1 hop. Now Dietrich is safe at second. Another full count. It's 3-2.
And for a young team, they seem pretty patient at the plate. The Marlins do.
Yeah, I thought last year they were guilty of being a little free swinging.
I can look back in history facing these guys as a young team. They were very, especially when guys got on base, they were swinging when the ball was leaving your hand. And if you could figure out how to take advantage of it, it could be very beneficial.
Outside, ball 4. So back-to-back walks. And Fernandez is coming up with 1 away here in the 4th inning. At a meeting on the mound, you figure Fernandez is up there to move the runners up to second and third, even with 1 man down, and give maybe Yelich a chance to put the ball in play.
You would think that would be the case.
Sunday night, get a breakdown of the Flyers' first-round playoff opponent with our panel of experts on Cup Central, presented by GMC. Sunday night at 6:30, only on Comcast Sportsnet. Well, the playoffs are just around the corner for the Flyers and everybody else in the NHL. Flyers have, of course, made the playoffs. Sort of up in the air. Maybe the Rangers will be their first-round opponent. Runners lead off first and second. The corners playing in. Fernandez did not show bunt as Burnett turned back towards second. I know sometimes it's debatable. You know, do you have the pitcher bunt? Now he just squared for a moment. Nope. And he chops it foul, and he got a piece of Ruiz and Kerwin Danley.
I'm sure they have a few guys on this team that can bunt. You look down at their third base coach, Brett Butler.
He could bunt.
There's a gentleman that was a fabulous bunter back in his day.
See, I think in this case, I'd have the pitcher bunt, and then you have the leadoff hitter. He may have missed a sign.
Right. But yeah, no, most definitely. You want to turn that lineup over. Yeah, you surely don't want him to hit a ground ball double play right here.
No. Said that Kerwin Danley got a piece of this. He did, right on the mask. I thought it grazed Ruiz too, but it didn't.
I don't know how many times I've seen him behind the plate and he gets hit in the face or in the mask.
The bunt goes toward third. It's a good bunt. Ashe bare hands and fires just in time to get Fernandez. Sacrifice is successful. 5-4 on the putout.
It's a good bunt and a good play by Ashe. Close play, but a good play.
I wonder if there was a point where Ashe thought, well, maybe I'll let it roll foul, but I don't think he could take that chance because it was still in the grass.
Got to get the out. If they're giving you the out, you got to get it.
Well, Yelich is 0 for 1. He walked his last time up. He grounded out to second in the first. On the inside corner, it's 0-1. Phillies lead it by 1. They're trying to maintain that lead. A.J. Burnett is about to throw his 86th pitch of the night. Curved ball that floats outside. 2-1.
You know, when you're struggling with your command, you know, he's struggling with his sinker and his curveball. He really doesn't have a pitch to go to when he needs to get back into the count.
Ozuna waits on deck. 10th 3-ball count of the night. Ground ball right side. Easy play for Utley, and Burnett's able to work out of the jam here in the fourth. No runs, no hits. He does leave 2. Marlins have left 5. Fernandez will go back to work here in the bottom of the fourth when we return. Visit Dodge.com or your local dealer today. By Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. And by Toyota. Toyota's #1 for everyone sales event is going on now. Toyota, let's go places. Home half of the 4th inning. It's the Phillies 3, Marlins 2. Cody Ashley will lead things off against Jose Fernandez, who has walked 4 tonight. And he delivers a fastball for a strike. It's 0-1. Ashley grounded out to second his first time up. Jake Diekman did a chat today on Twitter and online. Got a lot of questions, a lot of really cool questions. Got a lot of questions from Cody Ashley.
Oh, really?
2 balls and 1 strike. Breaking ball, it's 2-2. Jake was answering questions from fans. It's a pretty neat thing that that Twitter allows, or even online allows the players, the athletes, to interact with the fans the way they do. But it was pretty funny watching Cody fire one question after another at Jake Diekman. Cody's not happy right now. St. Louis Blues aren't playing all that well in the NHL. Ground ball foul. It remains 2-2. There's Jake. One of the questions to Jake was, what's your ritual before the ball game? He said, hot tub and a bowl of cereal. Not necessarily in that order. And Ashley struck out. That's 4 straight strikeouts for Fernandez. AJ Burnett's coming up. Let's check in with Murph. Murph?
Well, Tom, we want to get back to a conversation that you and Jamie were having during yesterday's telecast. You were trying to figure out all the father and son combinations that Jamie had either played with or against, and you came up with 16 of them. There is actually 17, 18 if you count the Boones as 2. And if I'm not mistaken, the one you guys did not think of yesterday was Gary and Darrell Ward. He did play against both of those guys at one point in your career. I don't know if you remember that, Jamie, but 18 different combinations of fathers and sons that Jamie Moyer played against. So it generated a lot of conversation, so we wanted to just get the numbers out there, and we thank the Elias Sports Bureau, of course, for putting that all together for us.
You know, the other one, Murph, too, I don't know if we said Max and Will Venable.
See, I thought you did say that.
Maybe we did. I don't know, because we got a lot of answers from folks. I was getting answers even today from people.
Well, there's the definitive answer right there in black and white.
5 straight strikeouts for Fernandez. Well, we want to, as Murph said, we want to thank Elias for putting that research together and putting it up. But it was funny. I don't know about you, Murph, but I kept getting emails and messages today about it.
Yeah, I got a bunch of them on Twitter, folks weighing in with either guesses or facts that they knew, and the list it's pretty impressive, and it was pretty impressive how it was compiled almost completely from people just kind of searching their memory banks and thinking about Jamie's career. So very impressive. You've had a lot of impressive numbers in your career, Jamie Moyer. I'm not going to say that's the most impressive, but it's still very impressive.
Well, there were also some tongue-in-cheek answers that were coming up.
Oh, yeah.
The Delahanties, they were going way back.
Yeah. The DiMaggios?
That was the brothers.
They were brothers, yeah. By the way, Captain Crunch and Cocoa Puffs, Jake Diekman's 2 favorite cereals, in case anyone's curious about that.
Oh, okay. Captain Crunch and Cocoa Puffs. Well, some will say that a left-hander is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Gwynn takes a strike. It's 1-2. Tony Gwynn walked his last time up and scored the run that gave the Phillies the lead. I think the other part of that debate last night about the father-son combinations was that Matt got involved late, and all of a sudden, at least on my Twitter handle, a conversation about hockey, and a long one all of a sudden broke out.
What we're seeing here is quite impressive. He had no strikeouts, bases loaded, and now he's struck out 6 in a row.
6 consecutive strikeouts for Jose Fernandez. He has struck out the side here in the 4th. Phillies go down quietly. We go to the 5th. Phillies lead it by 1. the Fangs Trivia Quiz answer. All right, Jamie, who are the only 3 pitchers in MLB history to win 100-plus games after turning 40?
You want to answer it right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Jack Quinn.
The Delaware Peach, Jack Quinn.
Phil Necro.
Phil Necro is correct.
And myself.
And Jamie Moyer. Log back on to Phillies.com to find out if you're the winner of a Phillies prize pack. All right, who won the most after 40?
Necro. Right?
You are correct. 121.
Yep.
I learned more about the Delaware Peach, Jack Quinn, when you were going through, all the stuff that you were going through here in Philadelphia than I ever imagined. First of all, that that peaches were so prominent in the state of Delaware at one point, but it was pretty neat. 1 ball and 1 strike to Marcell Ozuna.
Actually, there's, it's one of those old-time records, but I don't remember which one it was that I broke. But I broke it on the gentleman's birthday. It would have been his birthday.
Was it
something I did in Colorado? I don't remember what it was, but it was on his birthday.
Did you get a win?
Yeah, you know what? You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how old were you? 49?
Yeah, but I did it on his birthday. I broke the record on his birthday.
1-2 pitch. Kind of buckled him a little bit, but it's inside. 2-2. Line drive, base hit it to left field. Dominic Brown will get there and cut it off, and Ozuna will stop at first. The leadoff single.
Like a curveball that hung up in the zone there. He hit that ball pretty hard. Luckily, he kept that in the ballpark.
Well, here's Stanton, who's 1 for 2. Single to right, struck out in the first. Chase is asking Mark Ripperger, the second base umpire, to shift a little bit. I think he doesn't have to move if he doesn't want to. I think it's very rare that an umpire doesn't move if an infielder asks. Foul ball, and it's 0-1. This is the 500th game of Mike Stanton, I should say Giancarlo Stanton's career. He has 119 home runs in 499 games. Ground ball foul. There are only 2 other players who have had this many home runs or more by the time they've reached their 500th game. Albert Pujols is 1, and the guy over at first base for the Phillies is the other.
This kid can stay healthy. I think he's going to have a special career. I mean, just he's a good hitter. He has a really good eye, I think, at home plate. I can look back. He had a mammoth home run off of me a couple years ago when I was with Colorado. But just to see him come up as a young hitter and make the adjustments and learn the strike zone and be able to hit the ball to all fields. I mean, we obviously all know about his power to left field, but he's got probably just as much power to right field. And somebody said today, when he's taking batting practice, you can have your back to him, and you know when Giancarlo, is taking batting practice.
Well, that's a good pitch by Burnett to get him out front. And that's the 4th strikeout for A.J. Burnett.
You see a good curveball here that A.J. somehow found that curveball, and that's when he's right. That's a fantastic curveball, and you see how it minimizes Stanton's swing right there.
Garrett Jones 1 for 2. He struck out and he singled to right. Tap foul, and it's 0-1. Inside, 1 ball and 1 strike. He's about to throw his 100th pitch of the evening. They're trying to nurse him through this inning. A, because the bullpen has been taxed. But B, there's that thought that if a starter has the lead, if they can get him through the 5th inning with the lead, they'd like to do that. It may not happen if his command doesn't allow it.
See a ground ball double play right here.
Way inside, 3-1. That gets away from Ruiz. Ozuna goes up to second.
Looks like he's trying to run that ball back. Just he held on to it a little too long and stayed with it and almost hit Jones in the knee.
Eleven 3-ball counts. That's a lot of 3-ball counts. Outside, ball 4. And Casey McGee is coming up. Gotta imagine they're going to get somebody up shortly.
You would think so.
There's Bob McClure and Ryan Sandberg. They're going to chat about it for a moment. Larry Boa. I think Boa's asking who they want to get up.
He's got 5 walks as well. I mean, he had 6 in his previous outing. This isn't very typical of AJ.
Well, McClure's going out to the mound, and Larry Boa is telling Rod Nichols who's going to get up and start throwing. Now, tomorrow the Phillies have Jonathan Pettibone, who's scheduled to pitch. Now, he's all stretched out. There's no limitations for Jonathan. But obviously, they need to get through tonight first. Although when I say limitations, we're not talking about 125, probably around 100 right. pitches. Yep. A reminder that Sunday, and the weather's supposed to be great this entire weekend, but Sunday, it's Kids Opening Day here at Citizens Bank Park. Great giveaway. The commemorative baseball and tin celebrating 10 years at Citizens Bank Park. Free to fans 14 and under. Compliments of Turkey Hill. Make plans now. Order your tickets at Phillies.com. We've got a double play candidate here in Casey McGee. You can get the ground ball. Low, and it's 1-0. Diekman is. Oh, well, Diekman's been used a lot. Maybe the thought is to just get him through this inning more than anything else. Then if somebody else get ready for the back end. Outside, 2-0.
I've seen this type of an outing from AJ in back-to-back outings. I got to believe it's some sort of a mechanical flaw that he's trying to deal with and fight through.
That's frustrating, I would think, isn't it?
And it is sometimes, especially when you can't exactly put a finger on it. I'm not exactly sure where AJ is with it.
Almost looked like he hurt himself on that.
Yeah, that.
Scott Sheridan, the Phillies athletic trainer. The 3-0 pitch. Outside, ball 4.
Yeah.
There's something going on
there.
Yeah. 6 walks for A.J. Burnett. And the bases are loaded. And Scott Sheridan's going to come out with Ryan Sandberg. And they're going to check on A.J. This is 2 pitches ago when you see him winch for the first time. It was right there where it was almost like his plant leg.
Yeah, it's maybe a hip or a back. I'm not a doc, so I probably shouldn't say a whole lot, but just from the reaction right there, it's after he's released the ball and he's kind of pivoting on that front leg.
Well, he's the kind of guy that's going to want to stay in a ball game.
And I think Ryan said that's it.
All right, so they signal to the pen. Jake Diekman, who was warming up, it looks like he's going to be the guy that's going to come into the ball game for the Phillies. And A.J. Burnett will head off with Scott Sheridan. 106 pitches, but the biggest concern now is if A.J.'s okay as he walks off the field. Bases are loaded for the Marlins. The Phillies lead it 3-2. We're here in the top of the 5th inning. We've got a pitching change here at Citizens Bank Park. We'll talk about Jake Diekman when we return. Here at Citizens Bank Park. It's the Hatfield Dollar Dog Night, the first one of the year. Thursday is the Citizens Bank Red Goes Green Day. Free MLB Network reusable tote for all fans. Order your tickets now by going to Phillies.com. Oh, A.J. Burnett's night is done. He walked 6 for the 2nd straight outing. And he allowed 5 hits. The 3 runners on base are his responsibility. They bring Diekman into the game. They switch Jared Saltalamacchia over to the right side of the plate. Diekman this year, 6 games, 4.76 ERA. Phillies set up to try to turn 2 here in the top of the 5th inning. Swing and a miss. Little high cheese. And it's 0-1. That's remarkable. I saw that note this morning. I was shocked by that. Have not grounded into a double play this year. It's got to happen eventually, doesn't it?
It will. It will. Fly ball hitting team with some foot speed.
That's the right combination for that stat anyway. The 0-2 pitch to Saltalamacchia. Got it in his hands. He fouls it back. Swing and a miss. He got it with a breaking pitch. 2 outs here in the 5th inning. And Diekman just 1 out away from getting through this and keeping the Phillies lead.
See a good slider down out of the zone. That fastball sets that slider up. He does throw it so hard, you have to commit so early to it. It's a slider out of his hand. It probably looks like a fastball, and as it gets to the plate, it's a slider, but the hitter has to commit, to the fastball. So you see how he fools a lot of guys with that slider.
Well, now Dietrich, who walked his last time up after he hit the home run, the 2-run shot in the 2nd.
That 97 is a little funky. He's thrown across his body. He's got kind of that 3/4 arm angle. I mean, that pitch there on the monitor almost looks like a slider. It's not, I'm sure, down at home plate, but from his arm angle, and it's kind of crossfiring. It's a tough pitch for a left-handed hitter to go out and get.
So he switched him, or asked him to switch to this style of motion maybe 3 years ago, 4 years ago. Gorman Heimmuller used to be the Phillies pitching coordinator. I believe was the first to suggest it. Took a chance. Diekman did. Phillies did. But he has shown signs of being very effective with this delivery. Chopper up the first base line. It's rolling foul. 2-1. There have been guys that have adjusted on the fly to switching their delivery. Pedro Feliciano is another guy, the lefty that used to pitch for the Mets and the Yankees. I mean, he basically reinvented himself. And although he's not pitching anymore in the majors, he had some pretty good seasons. On the outside corner at 97. And it's back even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. A.J. Burnett still in the dugout. These 3 base runners are his responsibility. Swing and a miss. He got him. Diekman comes out of the pen with the bases loaded and 1 man down and gets back-to-back strikeouts to preserve the 1-run lead. He did some pitching during this inning. The slider turned out to be his out pitch. With these 2 strikeouts, the Marlins leave him loaded, and we lead for the bottom of the 5th. after the strikeout by Jake Diekman. This is a heck of a pitch. Carlos Ruiz with a great reaction, a little pump of the fist. And A.J. Burnett came over and congratulated Jake Diekman for leaving those 3 base runners. So now we go to the bottom of the 5th, and Jose Fernandez has struck out 6 consecutive hitters. He didn't have a strikeout until the 3rd, but he fires a fastball for strike. It's 0-1. Now the record for strikeouts, consecutive strikeouts in a game, is 10. Tom Seaver did it back on April 22nd, 1970. Now it takes a special guy, a different guy, to strike out, let's say, 10 in a row. Now you did 8 in a row at one point, right?
I did early in my career in Chicago. Get out of here.
Don't forget about that streak. That ball's lined toward the alley in right center field, and Stanton can't get it. A one-hop off the wall. Rollins is thinking 3. Around second, heading to third. The throw is not in time. It gets away, and the Phils have a leadoff triple here at the bottom of the 5th. What a great swing.
See here, just a fastball out just elevated down the middle. And Jimmy, right, you're right, Tom. Put a nice swing on it. Notice that in spring training with Jimmy, when he puts a nice easy swing on the ball and squares it up, the ball really jumps off of his bat. And he hustles into third base. And Marlins got a break there. That ball could have bounced in the dugout.
Absolutely.
Jimmy could have walked home.
The ball may have gotten a piece of Rollins too as it came over, but Jimmy was moving as he was coming around the bases. He's catching his breath. Here's Chase Utley. Utley is 1 for 2. Scored a run, singled his last time, and he lines that one into right center field, a base hit. Rollins will coast home. It's an RBI single for Utley. It's a 4-2 ball game. Safe to say that the Phillies' game plan of trying to attack Fernandez has worked some of the night, hasn't worked other parts of the night, but it has worked here in the 5th inning.
They got him on the road. They don't really have him on the road for man on third base. And he's trying to get ahead in the count. He throws a good low fastball, and Chase, typical Chase, short swing to the ball and hits the ball hard back through the middle.
Ryan Sandberg like that. Here's Ryan Howard now. Howard has walked twice, once with the bases loaded, and he has scored a run. Takes a fastball a little high, 1-0. Jimmy Rollins, that triple, his first of the year. Saw that note, he had 2 last year. Still trying to catch his breath. There's the overshift.
It's funny with that overshift. Some teams put, you can see where the Marlins have their second baseman right here. But some teams put their second baseman kind of out here in short, shallow right center field. So it's interesting how each team does it differently.
I wonder if it's because there's a runner at first, if that's the adjustment that they make.
Possibly.
That ball is rocketed right where that guy would be. Right. Utley's around second. He'll stop as Stanton gets to it quickly. Well, they are attacking. So first and second with nobody out, and Marlon Byrd is coming up.
Maybe that's why Ryan didn't see the fastball 3-2 in his previous at bat right there.
They're Slowey again in the bullpen. But the point is good. This shift, most times Ryan Howard has that guy in shallow right, and a ball like that is caught. You give him a little freedom, and sometimes he can get that hit.
We've seen. I think we've seen it at least twice this year where he's hit it to where that guy is in shallow right center field.
Breaking ball. It's 0-1.
And they were well hit balls, but right at the guy.
Line drive, base hit into center field. Utley's going to be around third, heading home. The throw to the plate by Ozuna is not in time. It's a 5-2 ball game. 4 straight hits for the Phillies here in the 5th.
Marlin not trying to do a whole lot either. Fastball down the middle, and as you see, he hits the ball squarely. Chase ran hard with contact. You can see not only does it happen to the Phillies, but in the last series with Milwaukee, Phillies pitchers made mistakes in the middle of the plate, were hit hard, and now tonight here you see with Fernandez, regardless of how hard you throw, you make mistakes in the middle of the plate, balls are going to get hit hard.
But I also think that what you said about it being aggressive as a hitter, that's paying off for them here tonight.
Most definitely.
Well, Mike Redmond is coming out to talk to Kerwin Danley, and I believe the Marlins are going to go to their bullpen here. They're going to make a double switch. So Jose Fernandez, who came into this ball game with a 0.71 ERA with 17 strikeouts in 12 2/3, is going to be lifted from this ball game here in the bottom of the 5th inning. And as he leaves, we reflect on what his ERA is since the start of last season. We look at our Mazda leaders, and it's right behind Clayton Kershaw, who's in a world all by himself. But the Phillies have put a 5 spot on him after scoring just 1 run against him last year. Fernandez's day is done. Marlon Byrd's RBI single is the last thing he'll see. That scored Chase Utley. And Kevin Slowey's coming into this ball game. So we've got a pitching change here at Citizens Bank Park. Nobody out, bottom of the 5th. The shorter outings you'll see for him. Phillies have scored 5. There are 2 runners on base that are his responsibility. Hey, the Powerball will go off on Wednesdays and Saturdays, which means you have until tomorrow to get your tickets for the Powerball. Meanwhile, Mega Millions, it's at $20 million. That number is called on Tuesdays and Fridays. Dominic Brown is the first batter to face Kevin Slowey. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 5th. Phillies with 5 runs on 8 hits. At the knees, 0-1. fights it off. Foul territory, and Casey McGee's not going to get there. They just announced that A.J. Burnett left with some soreness to his groin. He was lifted from the game as a precaution. Ariel Hollins is in the pen. No balls and 2 strikes to Dominic Brown. In the dirt, 1-2. Ball is kicked around by Saltalamacchia. Line drive, base hit it to right field. Ryan Howard to third. They're not going to send him. And the bases are now loaded. That's 5 straight hits for the Phillies.
The Brewers left some hits behind, huh? Like it.
It's nice that the Phillies have found it. This is like opening day as far as the swings go. They're not at 14 runs yet. Now Carlos is 0 for 2. I give him credit. You know, Ryan Sandberg was saying today, and I agree with him. He said that, you know, middle of the year last year or in August, Jose Fernandez and Matt Harvey could have been the 2 best pitchers in the league, even though they were so young. He said when he played, I know he's a Hall of Famer, and I think he's hesitant sometimes of saying when I played, and he's not saying it to be boastful.
Exactly.
So when they faced a real good pitcher like a #1, a guy like Fernandez, because they really did focus on, you know, what can I do? As this one is lined towards second, picked on one hop. There's 1, there's 2. A run does score, and it's now 6-2. Now that was a heck of a play by Jeff Baker, who came on as part of that double switch. No RBI for Ruiz, but he does get the run home.
See a sharply hit ball. Second base. Makes a nice turn. He has plenty of time to turn that double play, but look at Dominic gets down there and try to break up that double play. Bearing down on you. That's very good for Echeverria to stay in there and make a nice throw to first base.
Ashe now the batter. He's 0 for 2. He's grounded out. He's also struck out. Anyway, to finish that point, you know, Rhino said that when he played, you know, if there was a #1 that they were facing, let's say, you know, it was like Doc Gooden or something like that, they would bear down and try to figure out, well, what can I do to have an advantage against that pitcher? They really focus on, let's say, one thing. High fly ball to center, caught by Ozuna. Side is retired. Phillies score 3. All 3 runs charged to the line of Jose Fernandez. One of those RBIs off the bat of Marlon Byrd will go to the 6th. Just getting started on his 12th career season with the Phils. Out of spring training and into the fire, Chase has come out pounding the ball to start the 2014 campaign. In just the first week, his 2 home runs, a .458 average, 11 hits, and 5 for extra bases, including his 300th career double, is the exact production Ryne Sandberg is looking for from Utley's location in the lineup. The chase for success has started early, and it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Tonight here at Citizens Bank Park, it's the Asian Pacific celebration. And a fanatic got involved with some of the dancers that were part of the festivities in between innings. It's got a costume for everything, Jimmy. The room must be a mile long with all the hats and all the paraphernalia he has. Those 4 kids are trying their best to concentrate, but it's too hard.
That big guy's in the way.
Freddie Galvis checks into the ball game. He'll be part of a double switch for the Phillies. So he'll bat 9th. Mario Hollins will bat 8th. So the Phillies are going to ask Hollins for a couple innings here. He's only thrown 2 1/3 so far in his big league career. And he'll face Echeverria. And then Jeff Baker, who came in as part of a double switch, and then the top of the order. Echeverria takes strike 1. It's the first time that the Marlins are seeing Mario Hollins. So there's an advantage there from a Phillies standpoint.
Most definitely. And he's a little funky. And thirdly, he's fresh. Hasn't pitched in a couple days.
Which is why they can use him for a couple of innings here. Here's Cody Ashe.
Coming off a couple decent outings, too. Nice to see a quick inning here to make that 3 really stand big.
One-two pitch. Hit through the hole, and Jimmy Rollins was shaded toward the middle. So a base hit for Echeverria, his 2nd of the night. And that'll bring Jeff Baker to the plate. I mentioned that Freddie Galvis is in the ball game over at 3rd. Freddie was activated today. And Cesar Hernandez. Murph Hernandez was sent not to AAA, but to AA. But there's a reason behind that whole thing.
Yeah, there was a lot of people, wondering about the reason for that, and Ryne Sandberg addressed it before the game. He said it's really quite simple. They really want Cesar Hernandez as a young guy to get some work at 3rd base and shortstop in addition to playing 2nd base, and the opportunities down at Reading at AA are there for him to do that. They're hoping he can play 3rd base about 4 times a week, maybe play shortstop 2 times a week, and still get a little bit of work at 2nd base in order to make him a more versatile player, so that when he does come back up to the big leagues, he can fill a role similar to what Freddie Galvis is able to fill for this team. They like his bat here at the major league level, but they just want him to be a little bit more versatile, and they also want him to be playing every day as a young player. So for those 2 reasons, that's why he went down there.
Yeah, and in this day and age, there is a difference between AA and AAA. There is. But it's not a huge difference anymore. Wouldn't you agree with that, Jamie?
I would agree with it. You usually have a lot of prospects playing in AA. Maybe not so much in AAA, but you have more veteran type players that have had big league service in AAA that are probably quicker to get back to the big leagues. But the AA, to me, the AA level is where a lot of the prospects are.
I think Murph's point too, just getting a chance to play every day, but also tinkering with how he's playing, which what I mean by that is just the different positions. There's a freedom there. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Ground ball foul.
As an infielder, if you can play several positions, it really adds value to what you can bring to a ball club. Just like if you can switch hit.
Which both of those guys can, Galvis and Cesar. Jeff Baker is hitting 176. He's 3 for 17. Fly ball. Shallow right. Utley, long run. Bird, long run. Both are over, and it's Utley who makes the catch. Ball was way up there, but he had to cover a lot of ground. And Christian Yelich is the hitter. He's 0 for 2. On the outside corner with a fastball, 94. It's 0-1. Down the left field line. That'll slice out of play. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. There it is. Mario's an intelligent kid. The story goes that when he was told that he had made the club by Ryan Sandberg, his first reaction, and he doesn't always show a whole lot of emotion. He's a really good kid too to talk to. That pitch is low. He said, "Oh, good, I can go back to school." That was his first thought. That, yeah, I can make the big leagues, which he was excited about, but I'll have enough money to possibly go back to school.
I think I heard he was a double. Is he a double major?
Yeah, there's he has a major in design, as that ball was hit to the right side and it sneaks into right field in fashion design. The runners on first and second with 1 man down. But he's got this sort of unflappable personality. And I think it serves him well from a composure standpoint. Well, he's got a tough customer to deal with here in Marcell Ozuna, who's 1 for 3. He's got the ground ball off the bat of Echeverria that went through the open hole on the left side, and a chopping ground ball by Yelich that goes through the hole on the right side. Ozuna is a .417 hitter this year against left-handed pitching. So Hollins is going to try to quiet his bat here. He's late on that pitch, and it's 0-1.
Nice to see a ground ball here to Chaser Jimmy and turn a nice double play here in the middle of the infield.
Chopper back toward the box. Hollins has got it. Fires to second for 1. Utley's throw to first in time. You okay with it going back to the box like
I'll
that?
take that.
1-4-3 on the double play. And the side is retired. No runs, 2 hits, and 1 man left. Hollins having to field his position. Got himself set. Clean throw to Utley. And he paid it off by getting it to Howard before Ozuna. .62 Phillies on top. Phillies with 6 runs on 9 hits. There was a lot of conversation going on in between innings, and it was partly because of the way the play ended the top of the 6th. Kerwin Danley is talking to Ryan Sandberg, but while he was doing that, Mike Redmond was out talking to Lance Barksdale. Now, Chase Utley is straddling the second base bag, and we're just wondering if this is what the conversation was, whether he actually touched the second base bag, whether that could be reviewed, or if it was the play at first, whether Ozuna beat the throw. Reviewable or not, the neighborhood play, which I guess is what you would call that when you straddle the second base bag, that's not under review. That can't be reviewed because of safety reasons. But maybe it was how close it was at first base.
Yeah, I don't know, because it was a close play at first base as well.
Freddie Galvis leads it off, and he takes high. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Galvis up for the first time. He came on as part of a double switch. As Slowey delivers low and in.
Find out tomorrow, won't we?
Find out tomorrow. We're seeing all these different discussions going on around baseball about different things. What's reviewable, what's not. Toyota Major League Scoreboard, the Nationals and the Braves are battling this weekend. The Braves have a 5-4 lead over the Nats in the bottom of the 5th. 3-1 the count. Nice catch. Ball 4. Galvis is aboard to start the 6th. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Delaware Valley Honda. Visit your local Delaware Valley Honda dealer or shophonda.com. By Thomas Jefferson University Hospitals. Call 1-800-JEFF-NOW for an appointment. And by McDonald's. I'm loving it.
Nice at bat there by Freddie for his first at bat of the season. Working a walk. Get to the top of the order. Tony Gwynn Jr.
All the reports were that he was swinging the bat pretty well through his rehab assignment. On the inside corner, it's 0-1. Wynn lays down the bunt. Slowly off the mound. And Garrett Jones hung on the bag. Juan Sam Wells pointing to the bag. Galvis gets to second. The sacrifice is successful. And Ryan Sandberg's going to come out. Now the key to a lot of this is buying time. Buying time so Larry Boa can confer and get a chance to see the replays inside as to whether he beat the throw or not. I mean, there is an art to it. And there's the thumbs down. Here's Garrett Jones. And his toe is on the bag. And then some.
You don't usually see a first baseman with their foot on top of the bag.
Jimmy Rollins is coming up, and that brings us to our cold hard fact, brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. Tonight's triple gives Jimmy Rollins 108 for his career, third most among active players. Jose Reyes and Carl Crawford are the two leaders. That triple sparked a 3-run fifth inning. Off the hands over to third. McGee. And there are 2 outs. That leaves 2 for 3. A couple runs scored and an RBI. The 2 hits tonight. He's now hitting .484. That's a cool .484.
And you would never know he was out for 2 days with the flu, would you?
I guess you always wonder if his timing would be knocked off a little bit by missing, even with the off day, 3 days overall. But
probably at home hitting. Big bowl of chicken soup beside him.
A bat and a tee and a net. A ball and 1 strike. Out of play, and it's 1-2. Slowey's best pitch is that changeup, and it's low, 2-2.
Just doing back-to-back changeups, it looks like.
Ball 4, and Utley's aboard for with a walk. He's aboard now for the 4th time tonight, counting the fielder's choice. So 2 walks in the inning for Slowey. Phillies theme nights offer opportunities for fans to interact with others who share similar backgrounds and interests. Highlights may include unique food, fun entertainment, and exclusive giveaways. For information and a complete list of upcoming theme nights, visit Phillies.com/theme nights. Fans must order tickets as part of the theme night to be eligible to receive exclusive giveaways. Ryan Howard has 2 runners on with 2 outs. Ryan has been on base 3 times, 2 walks and a single, and he has scored a couple of runs.
They've got the second baseman back in short right field for the shift.
Yeah, the second baseman here is Jeff Baker. There he is. They've got Echeverria shaded toward the left side.
There.
I love watching Chase Utley take his secondary leads. I know it's a little thing, I really do, but you know, if you can just capsule it and show it to baseball players all around the world. I mean, he's got that lead, but he just does it. He does everything the right way. I mean, the first baseman's nowhere near him. He's watching. He's looking at the outfielders, looking to see where they are. Now he'll be off and running here. Look at him looking around. There he goes. That pitch is hit high in the air to center. Playable for Ozuna. And the sign is retired. Phillies leave a couple here in the 6th inning. A couple walks. We go to the 7th here at Citizens Bank Park. The Phillies lead it by 4. The Asian Pacific celebration. Those are some happy guys right there. It's led to a pretty good night for the Phils offensively as we take a look at our Honda game summary. Timmy Rollins a single, walk, triple, a run scored. A.J. Burnett didn't get out of the 5th because of soreness to his groin. But the Phillies have the lead as we go to the 7th. And Mario Hollins will face Giancarlo Stanton. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike to Stanton. It was 1 for 3, 2 strikeouts and a single. Inside 2-1. it's safe to say this is an important inning for Mario Hollins, but if it's a clean inning, they could use him for maybe one more if his pitch count's down, right?
I would agree with you, Tom.
Over to third, Galvis picks it.
Creating momentum here from the pitching staff is important, especially out of the bullpen, and Mario coming in, and actually Diekman coming in the fifth and getting those 2 strikeouts, I think is where that momentum was created.
Considering bases were loaded, he came
exactly.
in. Yeah.
And then Mario coming in here, the next inning and going 1-2-3, getting the leadoff hitter in Giancarlo Stanton out right there is really important, and getting ahead right here. I mean, this is the Mario Hollins we saw in spring training, and I think what we're, even though the season's young, this is what we come to expect to see out of Mario.
No balls and 1 strike to Jones. Slider outside, 1 ball and 1 strike.
And it's really why he made this team. The strike thrower.
Well, that was a changeup right there. It's 1-2. And a called strike 3. 2 away here in the 7th. That'll bring Casey McGee to the plate. It's time for the Major League Notebook. Murph?
It is indeed, Tom. Brought to you by Gwynedd Mercy University. And Dodgers outfielder Yasiel Puig back in the Dodgers lineup tonight after missing 3 games with an injured thumb. He hurt that thumb while sliding headfirst into first base, which sounds like it's becoming an epidemic in baseball. He strained a ligament in that thumb, but 3 days later is okay. Matt Kemp out of the lineup for the Dodgers tonight. And how about some real good news on Reds closer Aroldis Chapman? You remember back on March 19th, guys, he took that line drive to the face and broke his orbital bone in his face behind his eye. He is feeling great, according to him, feeling great, and throwing on flat ground right now. 96, 97 miles per hour on flat ground. Still no timetable on his return, but certainly working his way back. So that is good news, guys.
All right, Murph, we appreciate that. Ground ball to second, wraps up the top of the 7th. It's time to stretch here at Citizens Bank Park with the Phillies on top 6-2. All right, Marshall, thank you very much. As we go to the bottom of the 7th, it's 6-2 Phillies on top. And Marlon Byrd will lead it off against Kevin Slowey. Bird's had a good night tonight. Got a couple RBIs as he pops that one up. Echeverria, the shortstop, gives way to McGee. One pitch, one away here in the bottom of the 7th. Ariel Holland's done a nice job at 2 innings of relief. And here's Dominic Brown. Dominic is 2 for 3 with an RBI. Bastardo's up and warming in the pen. There's a strike of the knees. Another one at the knees, 0-2. Served out to right. Stanton comes in to make the grab for the second out. These lucky fans are today's Citizens 7. They were to receive a prize pack courtesy of Citizens Bank. Citizens Bank with the most 7-day branches in the Philadelphia area. To find a branch near you, visit citizensbank.com. There's Carlos Ruiz. Carlos is 0 for 3. Hit it to a double play his last time. All right, so Carlos asked for a new baseball there.
We're feeling Dominic was jammed on that pitch, and there might have been some pine tar on that ball, is my guess.
Little bloop down the right field line. It is a fair ball. And Giancarlo Stanton misplays it. Ruiz is to second. He'll shut it down there. Stanton's played a lot of games here at Citizens Bank Park, but still there's certain nuances that are difficult for a visiting player to realize, and that ball skirted off the little half wall there and got by him.
I think he tried to get over there and beat it there, and the ball bounced right on the line. He tried to get it as it got to the wall, pinch it against the wall, and it squirted by him.
Ben Revere will be a pinch hitter for the Phils. So Mario Hollins goes 2 innings. Phillies ball girl did a nice job getting out of the way of that. Chair and all. Out of play. Chopper to short. Echeverria slipped, but was able to regain and throw out Revere. Side is retired here in the 7th. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left. Phillies have left 8 through 7. We go to the top of the 8th inning. It's a 6-2 game. Chevrolet. Visit your local dealer at ChevyDealer.com. By WB Mason, you can't go wrong when you buy right. And by Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most innovative lineup ever. Shop at ChooseNissan.com. Top of the 8th inning. All right, Hollins goes 2. That's huge. And now you go to Antonio Bastardo here in the top of the 8th. Bastardo, 4 games, 0-1, a 2.08 ERA. They're trying to preserve this 4-run lead.
Oh, and I think it's really important for Antonio tonight to come out and throw strikes. His previous outing against Milwaukee, walked the leadoff hitter and got himself into trouble, and he's got a nice little lead here, a 4-run cushion. Go out and get himself back into the mode that he was in spring training, and that's be down in the zone and be aggressive with his fastball and use his slider when appropriate.
And then you saw Steve Cishek working in the bullpen for the Marlins. Obviously, he hasn't worked in 6 days, so they may get him some work in the bottom of the 8th. But it's Diekman and Hollins who have got the Phillies to this point in the game. That was bases loaded, 1 man down, and Diekman got 2 strikeouts. This is a big double play for Hollins.
They both did a great job tonight. They came in and threw strikes, forced the Marlins to put the ball on the ground, and let the defense play behind him. Diekman came in and got the 2 strikeouts in the 5th. And hopefully Antonio can continue that roll, that momentum right here.
Jared Saltalamacchia leads it off. It's low, 1-0. Saltalamacchia scored a run in the 2nd on the home run by Dietrich. Grounded out and struck out. Check swing, and he went. Inside, 2-1. By the way, you talked before about Ruiz asked for that ball to get thrown out because there might have been some pine tar on it. Did you follow that thing last night with Michael Pineda from the Yankees where he had that substance of some sorts on his hands?
I saw that. Actually, I saw it a little bit last night. It was on MLB Network a lot this morning. They were talking quite a bit about that.
Now, apparently it's a dead issue. Nothing's going to happen. There's not going to be any suspensions or anything like that because the Red Sox didn't ask for the umpires to look at Pineda's hand. Allegedly, Pineda said it was mud that was on his hand. Saltalamacchia pulls that foul down the left field line. Looking at the pictures, it looked like maybe it was mud, but it looked like it may have been pine tar.
Well, I'm curious to find out how you get mud on that particular part of your hand. I don't think he was walking around on his hands in the dugout, right?
Well, he said he reached down to get the. I'm just telling you his side of the story.
I'm not buying it. Sorry, there's a little sheen to it. Looks like pine tar for me.
There's a little glow.
Yeah.
Inside ball 4. Saltalamacchia draws a leadoff walk. Well, it's time now for our Hyundai defensive play of the game, and A.J. Burnett back in the 3rd inning. This turned out to be a big one because of the 2-run home run that followed, but he picked off Christian Yelich. I should say the 2 singles that followed. Picked off Christian Yelich with some quick feet.
Caught him leaning, and he had quick. You're right. Quick feet. Made a good accurate throw. Got right in the ball, and he put the tag on him.
It'll bring Reed Johnson in as a pinch hitter. This is the pitcher's spot. Our defensive play of the game brought to you by your local Hyundai dealers.
Two good fastballs down in the zone, and that's all Antonio needs to do right here. Command the zone, be aggressive.
That one skips up a few feet in front of the plate.
Johnson gives you a good at bat. He's a battler. He'll shorten the swing up and just punch the ball, push the ball around the infield. He's a nice guy to have on a ball club. He'll do a lot of things.
Man, that ball hits him, and that'll put 2 on with nobody out. Johnson last year played for the Braves. In fact, parts of the last 2 seasons. Went from the Cubs to the Braves back in 2012. Signed as a free agent by the Marlins late January of this year. He was second last year in batting average among pinch hitters in the National League. And that'll bring Echeverria to the plate. Well, in his last outing in this one, command is an issue for Antonio Bastardo. Not getting, getting ahead isn't the issue. It's just staying ahead.
We're putting a hitter away.
Echeverria has singled, he's doubled, and he's walked tonight. He's been on base all 3 times.
That's what you're looking for your 8-hole guy to do. Get on base somehow. Unfortunately, we haven't seen him run. It seemed that wasn't the right situation, or he had people on it ahead of him. But
that one's out toward right. Marlon Byrd out toward the track. Makes the catch. Saltalamacchia will head to third. And 1 out for Jeff Baker, who's up for the second time. Baker came on as part of a double switch earlier in the game. Chase ran a long way to get the pop-up that Baker hit in his first at-bat. Phillies will set up the infield to try to turn 2.
Another ground ball double play would be really nice right here.
Where do you want it? Do you want it back to the mound? You want it?
Didn't get the first one right. Get the double play right, but not back to the right position. I'll take it 4-6 to 3 right here.
That's right.
Put him in the lane.
Out toward right center field. That's pretty well hit. Gwynn on the run into the alleyway, and he makes the catch. Saltalamacchia will tag and go home. It's a 6-3 game. Baker hit that a long way, but Tony Gwynn was able to track it down, a sac fly, and there are 2 outs with the run crossing the plate here in the 8th inning. This is not a power hitter, Jeff Baker, but he put a charge into this.
He sure did. Off the bat, I thought that might have had a chance. The ball just seemed to carry. The wind has died down a little bit in comparison to earlier in the game.
Very comfortable route that Tony Gwynn Jr. ran on that to get to that ball.
He took a good route, and as that ball came down, it really was fading away from him.
Christian Yelich, the hitter, he's 1 for 3 with a walk. And he bunts at it and fouls it at the plate. It's 0-1. Carlos looked like he wanted that pitch on the outer half, but it had enough on it on the inner half to get it by Yelich.
Well, he had it up enough. I think it kind of tied him up.
And the 0-2. Swing and a miss. He got him. Leaves one over at first. He does allow a run, but the Phillies still have a 3-run lead. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Freddie Galvis will lead it off, and then the top of the order when we come back. Time now for our Subway in-game winning box score. It's nice to have the Phillies on the side of this, at least right now. From a statistical standpoint, the middle of the order, well, 2, 3, and 4, and even Marlon Byrd and Dominic Brown, I mean, they've done a nice job here tonight to give the Phils this lead.
They really did. And got into that 5th inning where we went hit, consecutively. It was really nice to see that, moving in a forward direction and scoring runs, and they can do it. It's a matter of just doing it together instead of getting it dispersed out where you get a hit in one inning, another inning, kind of clumping them together.
Donovan Solano takes over at second base. Again, a double switch by the Marlins because Steve Cishek is coming into the ballgame. He's their closer, but he hasn't had a lot of opportunities because they've lost 4 straight. In fact, he hasn't worked in 6 days, so that's the thought about getting him in here. Solano will bat 7th. Cishek will bat 9th. And it's Freddie Galvis, who walked his first time up. He is up for the second time. It'll be Galvis, Gwynn, and Rollins. Galvis shows bunt and takes it outside. It's 1 ball and no strikes.
Cishek is not your typical closer, or looking like your typical closer. Sidearm guy. He's got a 2-seam fastball that really runs. He's got a 4-seam fastball that gets to the mid-90s, and he's got a pretty good slider, and he uses a changeup to left-handed hitters.
Runs away. It's 2-1. How hard is it to throw the way he throws like this? I guess if you find the slot and you get used to it, it's not that difficult.
If he stood up, he'd probably be throwing 3/4.
That's good.
Fly ball, shallow right center. And Stanton uses two hands, makes the catch, and there's one out. So by doing this, he gets maybe even more movement and deception.
Well, yeah, you kind of bend. You can see he's kind of bent at the waist, and that changes his arm slot. But if you had him stand up, that arm slot would come up, and he'd probably be somewhere like low to mid three-quarter arm. You know, like you see most pitchers throw. That's all it is. It's just he's coming from a different angle because he's as he's releasing the ball, he's bent almost not quite as where he is when he comes set there, but right there. So that angle of his body changes, you know, his arm.
He's got a lot of lankiness to him. He's a little arms and legs going at you.
Really whippy.
Whippy. I like that. Yeah, he's just whipping it in there. 2 balls or 1 ball and 1 strike. He's been a pretty effective closer the last couple of years for the Marlins. Not that they won a whole lot of games last year. In fact, he was being sought after by a lot of teams that were contending last season. Outside corner, 1-2.
You can see where he'd be effective. He stays down, and that arm he just kind of slings that arm. You see his back foot comes off the rubber. It's just a little unorthodox, and he's good through a lineup. You know, when you can only see him one time, it's really kind of hard to adjust to him.
Gwynn pulls it foul. I think the other thing too is that he's already hit 89, so from that angle, to be able to throw 89.
You just don't see guys that throw from this angle throwing quite as hard as he does.
Mike Redmond was going along with the beat of the PA there. Swing and a miss, and there are 2 outs. Well, the New York Mets are coming to town for the first time on Tuesday, April 29th. It's a Hatfield Dollar Dog Night here at Citizens Bank Park, plus the Philadelphia Science Festival night presented by Dow. Tickets are available for both games, both at 7:05. Order your tickets at Phillies.com.
You know, and the other thing with his velocity that you see, it looks like he's throwing the ball uphill. It almost gives the look of the ball rising when he throws his fastball. A lot of guys that throw this way and they're not quite as firm, the ball kind of comes up and then it kind of dips down and runs away. So he's got the ability to kind of make it look like it rises and sinks.
Yeah, it's almost as if it's deceptive the way it's coming, because it's starting, let's say, at his knee and it's coming up toward your waist.
And you're not sure whether it's going to continue to go up or if it's going to sink down or if it's going to cut in on you. And, you know, and as I said, he's got a change up. So, I mean, he's got a number of ways to come at you. But you see the ball. You see the ball pretty well off him, I got to believe. Especially the left-handed hitter.
Ball 4, and Rollins continues a good night. 2 walks, a triple, and a single. And he's on base with 2 outs, and Chase Utley also having a good night. We'll get another chance to bat. Chase has 2 hits. He's got an RBI single. The turning point of this ball game right now is that 5th inning when the Phillies put 4 straight hits up against Jose Fernandez at 5 overall. We're able to string hits together to produce a positive inning. Certainly haven't been any of those here on this homestand. Upstairs, 1-0.
And even in that situation, they had 5 hits in a row, and then Carlos Ruiz, with the bases loaded, hit into a double play. They'll take the 2 outs. The Phillies get another run on top of it. So you trade the run for 2 outs.
There goes Rollins. Pitch is swung on and missed. The throw by Saltalamacchia offline. Rollins has his second stolen base of the year. Trying to get an extra run here in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Well, if he's not going to keep an eye on you at first base, it does take him a long time to get there. Jimmy gets a great jump, but with the time it takes Chiswick to get the ball there, Jimmy had that bag stolen quite easily. And then Chase actually swings the bat too to kind of distract the catcher.
Yeah.
The catcher really can't go anywhere till the ball crosses the plate. But if Chase swings, he's got to let Chase swing the bat.
Chase does swing it there, and he slices it the opposite way, and Yelich is there to make the catch. Side is retired. No runs, no hits. One man left in scoring position. Jonathan Papelbon warming up in the bullpen is going to come out with a 3-run lead when we come back. Immediately after the game, stay tuned for Ricky Bottalico's analysis of tonight's series opener with the Marlins only on Pure Auto Insurance presents Phillies Post Game Live. Well, we go to the top of the 9th inning. It's 6-3. Phillies on top, and Jonathan Papelbon is in a save situation. He's 1 for 2 so far in save opportunities. His ERA is high. He's allowed 6 base runners in 2 1/3. And he'll come on to face Marcell Ozuna, Giancarlo Stanton, and Garrett Jones. Every time the Phillies retire the opposition 1-2-3, Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. So Papelbon will try to pick this save up for the Phillies and end a 4-game losing streak. Phillies can finish this off. It's great way to start this series and this weekend, particularly against Jose Fernandez.
It is. And for the Phillies to do what they did to Fernandez tonight, it didn't look like he was his typical sharp, but they battled and strung a lot of hits together, and the bullpen has really done a nice job.
First pitch a low, 1 ball and no strikes. Now Papelbon hasn't worked in a few days, so he should be well rested. He hasn't worked since the Cubs series. Ball and 1 strike. Breaking ball, and it's 1-2. Ozuna is 1 for 4. Popped him up. First base side. Howard over toward the dugout. So is Ruiz. And Ryan Howard makes a basket catch right over top of Carlos Ruiz.
It's good concentration there by Ryan with Carlos coming over. Obviously, they were communicating. But it's a long run for both. Ryan checking where the rail was and came over and a little basket catch. And it looks like Chooch ran out of room and Ryan was there and made a great catch.
I wonder if at one point he said, "Get down, get down." Here's Stanton, 1 for 4. The 0-2 pitch.
It's a good pitch right here. He goes up and in, pushes Giancarlo back. I mean, it's an 0-2 pitch. That's a pitch. That's a pitch with a purpose.
Swing and a miss, and that's the purpose. Stanton is struck out, 2 away. Get him thinking even a little bit and get a little bit of an advantage, and then you pump it up to 93.
Exactly. That's the value of an 0-2 pitch right there. It throws a fastball. And Stanton had a good swing at it, but I think he could have probably had a better swing at it if he didn't see that pitch before there.
Papelbon 1 out away from finishing this one off and ending a 4-game losing streak for the Phillies. Garrett Jones is 1 for 3 with a walk. Out to center field. That's pretty well hit. Wynn going back toward the track. It's got a beat on it. Makes the catch. And the side is retired and the ball game is over. And the Phillies snap this 4-game losing streak as Jonathan Papelbon earns his 2nd save of the season. Handshakes all around. The Phillies win it 6-3. It was a combo game here tonight. The Phillies offense and the Phillies bullpen lead them to the victory. And speaking of the Phillies bullpen, there are Chevrolet players of the game. 4 2/3, 1 earned run, 5 strikeouts, 5 punch-outs out of the pen. That is needed in a game like this, particularly when Diekman came in with the bases loaded.
Yeah, Diekman came in with the bases loaded. It was a tough jam. He comes in, he throws strikes, he gets 2 strikeouts. Then Hollins follows him with 2 clean innings. Pistardo came in with a little bump, and then Papelbon backs him up with a really clean inning and a nice 0-2 purpose pitch.
Absolutely. And the 5th inning provides us with our WB Mason deliveries of the game. Let's talk about the offense a little bit. They strung some hits together.
Yeah, they did string some hits together. And here you see Jimmy Rollins leading it off with a triple. So great way to start the inning off. And then followed by Chase Utley with a sharp single up the middle, which is, again, just keeps the line moving. It was a short line, but Ryan Howard continued that line with a nice ball to right field, and then Marlon Byrd hits a hard line drive back through the middle to keep that line moving, and it was a big inning for the Phillies, and they were able to, the bullpen was able to hold it from there.
And speaking of Marlon Byrd, he's down on the field with Greg Murphy. Murph?
All right, thanks a lot, T-Mac. Yep, here with Marlon Byrd, the guy that really got it all started tonight. You guys came out with a very aggressive approach, it appeared, against Jose Fernandez, and you were able to get a hold of one early. I don't know if you thought it was going out. I did at the time.
I got it right off the end. It was a breaking ball. He left it up a little bit. Jose's tough, you know. We try to be aggressive because he's aggressive, try to combat it, but you know, he left us some pitches tonight to do some stuff with, but, you know, it's one of those things where we went in with a plan and tried to execute.
You know, a big moment in this game, top of the 5th, Jake Diekman comes in with the bases loaded, able to get out of that inning, and then you guys come right back offensively and put up 3 on the board. Yeah, obviously a big moment in this game, but you were able to string together some hits, something that hasn't happened over the past couple of days.
Yeah, definitely. We had the momentum. Diekman came in, you know, took the hill for AJ, which stayed out there like the horse he is, you know. Probably wasn't 100%, but he came in and started firing like he does, 97, 98, and I got us going. So we went back on the offensive very early and put up some runs for them quickly. So it was one of those things where we were trying to get everything to come together, and it just hasn't happened the past 4 games, and they did tonight.
I got to believe it felt pretty good to win in front of these fans here tonight.
Definitely. They want it, they deserve it, so hopefully we got a lot more for them.
All right, Marlon, thanks for your time. Guys, back upstairs.
All right, Murph, thank you. Our appreciation to Marlon Byrd for joining us. Jonathan Papelbon with a little celebration as he closed out this victory with a scoreless ninth. Phils win it 6-3.